We are back live here at the Crowne Plaza in Mawson Lakes in Adelaide as our final table is about to kick off. Looks like we are down to 7. So what happened there was we got to the final table and there was only a few minutes until the scheduled break. So we didn't return. We didn't want to have to come back for 10 minutes and then go on another break and annoy one. So we just had an extended break. We also, the table did go down a little bit as well. We've had that fixed. So we are back up and running now. We are down to 7. As you can see, Alan Wilson is here with $1 million, just over $1 million. Pierre, 923. And Liam G, who was 606. James Hopkins has 1.2 million. Huss has 1.2 million as well. Nathan Glass with 1.2 as well. And Van Marcus, our short stack, with 375,000. Blinds are 15, 25, 25. We will be playing down to a winner tonight. And we'll be here through to the very end. So if you are tuning back in, welcome back. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you and welcome. My name is Graham Bennett. I am your commentator for this evening. Yes, Jonathan, we are back. Back and live. Welcome. Pierre flopped middle pair, taking that one down. After a limp and a check and then a bet on the flop. If you are in Adelaide and want to have a bit of fun commentating with me, come on down. Crowne Plaza, Mawson Lakes. There is a seat next to me right now. Can be yours. Getting a chip race done by the looks of it. For anyone that is interested as well, the flipper is down to a final table. In ninth place, we had Lucan out in 9th for 600. Chris Parker in 8th for 915. Ben Sapper in 7th for 1100, which leaves Xiao Quinn, Jean, Simmer, Fred, Damiano, and Thomas still vying for that trophy in that event. Blinds are 15,000, 30,000, or 30,000 ante in that event. Just a reminder, in this event, there are 9 places paid. We are in the money. Starting from 9th, that's 5,000, and then 5,700 of those prizes have been claimed. And then we've got 6,800. We've got 8,350, 10,500, 14,180, 20,250, 29,250, and 45,500 to our eventual winner. One of these 7 will be $45,000 richer in just a few short hours. So here we've got James Hopkins with Jack 8, who defended the big blind from a Nathan Glass open from +1. He did open to 55,000. James Hopkins called. So on check, bet, fold on the flop, and Nathan will pick up 95,000 additional chips. Let us know in the chat who is your prediction to win this event now. We are down to the final 7 players. In this $2,500 buy-in Goliath event here at the Australian Poker Tour. Van Marcus, our short stack with 15 bigs. James calls from the small blind with 5-6. Huss will check the 8-6. Go to a flop of a 5-3 queen. James does take the lead with a pair of 5s here. Does hit the kicker to take the lead. And will lead for 25,000. Huss will just get out of the way here, you would assume. Yes, Jackson, I'm sorry, graphics do still say 9. We'll try and get that fixed. I can assure you, though, it is 7 left. This is our final table. So Daniel Melville went out in 9th for 5,000 and Aaron went out in 8th for 5,700. That's Aaron Sebastian in 8th. Liam here with the ace-3 off 22 big blinds. Looks like he's opened 50,000 chips. James quickly folds the 10-6. Huss folds. Nathan with the jack-4 in the big is going to defend. The 4-5-7 flop does pair Nathan. However, Liam does have the double gut shot, the 2 or the 6, with the ace as well as a potential out. The 8 on the turn actually takes away the 6 as an out to a scoop. The 6 will chop it though. But Nathan's still in front now, a 3-1 favourite in this hand. Nathan does bet 40,000. And that pot will go to Nathan as Liam folds. Nathan, our chip leader with 54 big blinds, 1.3 million in chips. James picking up aces in the cutoff. James was very active right on the bubble there, using his big stack to his advantage and putting pressure on everybody else at this feature table. Now he picks up a hand. Nathan in the small blind at ace-8. A 4-9-3 flop. So Nathan did fold the small blind now. Van Marcus has called from the big. So Van Marcus checks. James will continue for 50,000 and take this one down with the aces. All right, if you are in the chat, let us know where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from. We are live here in Adelaide. If you are in Adelaide, come on down, say hi here at Mawson Lakes, the Crowne Plaza Hotel. Absolutely stunning hotel here. Folds around to Huss on the cut-off with the king-jack off. Does decide to open to 50. Nathan folding the 7-9. Van Marcus will fold the 7-4. Around to the big blind. Alan Wilson also is 7-4. Does let this one go as well. Such a stacked final table we have here. Who are your predictions? Let me know. Dinesh in from Townsville. Welcome, Dinesh. Christy, let's go, Hoppy. Who's everyone's predictions? Let us know. Nathan with jacks now in the cutoff. Does raise to 55,000 by the looks of it. It's going to fold around to Alan in a small blind who gets rid of it. Pierre in the big with the king-jack suited. Throws the chips over and lets it go. Very disciplined fold there by Pierre in the big blind. Letting the king-jack go. Don't know if I like that fold, to be honest there. I wouldn't mind peeling, obviously, for a min raise with the suited king-jack. Yeah, probably not a fold I'm making there, Dinesh. I'm flicking in a call at least and playing post, but that's why I'm sitting here commentating and not at the table playing. Nathan bringing the 70,000. He got a little bit bigger here with the Queen 8. He went to 55 last hand with jacks. Now he increases it just a little bit with the Queen 8. King Jack suited again for Pierre. This time he's calling out of the small blind. Okay, so he folds the King Jack of diamonds the previous hand from the big blind. Now he's calling with the King Jack from the small blind. The 8-2-3 flop, there must be an issue here with our graphics because I can guarantee that there's no 2 8s of diamonds on this hand. Which leads me to believe maybe Pierre did not have the King-Jack last hand. Yeah, I'm leaning towards is an error with the cards there. There's an 8 of diamonds in Nathan's hand and also on the table. So, yeah, there's obviously an error there. Obviously, the players aren't up and about it. They would know straight away if there was an error. especially if Nathan sees the 8 of diamonds in his hand and on the board. So, yeah. All right, we've got a comment here on the YouTube channel. It is from Scan 613, top 3, Nathan, James, and Liam. Let's see if you can get that trifecta. Nice commentary. Thank you so very much. We'll have people joining us throughout the evening. There are other events going on as well. We do have the main event running as well. We've got the Mid-Stakes Championship running. We've got the Flipper running. That's down to a final table. We also do have the Mount Gambier Freeze Out running as well, which is up close to $20,000 in that prize pool as well. We do see a bet and a call here as we go to a 7 of spades on the river, both players with a jack. This will be getting chopped a majority of the time unless one of them can hit their kicker and make 2 pairs. Does go check from Liam. James may have a stab here with the jack. Looks like he bets around 40,000. Looking at those chips, we will get confirmation in a moment. It is 40,000. Liam trying to work this one out. Does make the call by the looks of it. He does. He puts those chips into the middle. We're off to a river. Only a 3 or a 6 will change this from not being a chop. Just waiting for the river card to appear on our screen here. Liam does check the river, the unknown river. River's the 7, but does pair the board. This will be a chop if it goes to showdown with both players having jack. It does go check, check. Yes, the dealer is chopping that pot up. The graphics were right on that hand. Looks like there is an error with one of the cards here as the players are checking it. Yeah, it looks like they're going to change the card out, so there will be a small delay while we get this card changed. It will not be long. We are not going to go anywhere. We're going to stay here on the table. Just waiting for a new card to come across. No, while we're waiting for this new card, we will head over to the flipper that is running. Let's have a look at that field. Thomas Prince has been eliminated in 6th for $1,200. Ben Sapper in 7th for $1,100, leaving just 5 players left. Simmer is still in, the grind winner from earlier in the week. And so is Damiano, chasing his first APT trophy. You know how badly he wants one of those. Joe Quinn is still in. Gene Lowe is still in. And Fred Churich, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, is still in as well. They are our final 5. Good luck to all those. Oh, the card's been replaced and we are about to get back on the way. Lines are still 10, 25, 25. It's going to cost you 65,000 chips every orbit at the moment. Pierre with the Queen 10 of spades in the cutoff will open to 65. Liam G, who will quickly fold the 10-8 round to James. He also folds, and Huss will most likely fold this as well. He does. I expect to see some good play in this. The players are clapping on screen. Something must have happened in a tournament outside. No, it was an appreciation announcement. So just a thank you to the dealers and the tournament directors here at the Australian Poker Tour. That's what that was. Quickly folds around to Liam, who gets rid of the 7-5 in the cutoff. James now on the button with King 6. Will open and Nathan will defend from the big with the Ace-5. The Ace-Jack flop does hit Nathan. Will he check in flow? He does. Over to James. James does put out 35,000. Nathan making the call. That could be a spicy turn card. It is a king. It is. James does hit the king, which could get him into a little bit of trouble here. Nathan checks again. James would want to bet to try and protect his hand here against the flush draw. He does check back though. The river, a 10 of spades. So the obvious draw, the flush draw, does miss. It is 4 to a straight on the board. Any queen would give you the straight. Nathan does hold the check mark here with the ace. Decides to bet out. And I reckon James will be paying this off. Looks to be about quarter pot. Oh, less. Even less. You can see James doesn't like it. I think he's going to flick in the call. Gives goodbye to these 35,000. He actually does find the fold there. Well done finding the fold. So there are 7 players left here. And we may have some bad news. I'm hoping not.
No, no bad news here, Graham. There's 5 people left in the flipper, and I'm still one of them.
That's good to hear. Damiano joining us for a few minutes while on break.
That is correct. 5 left in the flipper. I think I'm 1 of 5 just.
Okay, nice, nice. We actually just went through the who's left on that final table and saw you're still in it. So was Sima. And
yeah, a little bit of player of the series points up there. Like, I'm inside the top 10 for sure. Simmer's close to the lead. I think Mabrak took over him after his Players Champs win. So there we are. We've got a stacked final table though. As you can see here, we got Wilson, Pierre, Liam, Hopkins. There's 2 names together that definitely know what they're doing. Hassan is a local crusher here in South Australia. Nathan Glass has been around the traps plenty of times. And we've got Van Marcus, of all people, to round out our final table of 9. And I think we're going to be here for quite a while.
we will be. Just going back to the play of the series real quick. Sima is 3rd at the moment with 491 points. Trailing Ali, I believe she goes by. In 2nd at 540 with Andrew Mabrak first at 700. So yeah, this final table that is going on will be very important for play of the series as Van Marcus does find an all-in here with Ace-5 suited. And we are off to a flop all-in Does Perry's 5, there's avoid a king. He does hit 2 pair for the double. 𝗏 getting a nice double up there. We'll be up to 500,000 chips now.
There we are, nice for 𝗏 as we continue to move along here in this final table. I've definitely missed commentating today. Actually, fair play to yourself. I got a lot of pats on the back while sitting in the Goliath saying that the commentary was pretty good. None other than Chris Edgar. So, Chris, if you're watching, thank you for the pat on the back. Always nice to get it from a high-stakes reg.
Thank you.
They thought the commentary was good between me and you.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
So I'm glad that everyone is having some fun. If you are watching on the YouTube, let us know. If you're watching on the Facebook, do let us know. And who do you think is going to take this one down here tonight in the Goliath?
We did have a prediction from Scarn613 on the YouTube saying his top 3 were Nathan, James and Liam.
Look, it's been a bit between drinks, and obviously I know his last name's Glass, so this is not a pun, but it's been a bit between drinks here for Nathan Glass, between wins, I do believe, so it would be nice to see from that perspective. If I had to pick a winner from here just based on Hendon Mob and the fact that he's got a fair amount of chips, I think James Hopkins is probably your odd, you know, if you had the sports bet, his favourite. But, yeah, it will be interesting to see how we go.
We do see a raise here from Huss. And he does take it down on this flop after flopping top pair.
Perfect. I'm going to be back in 1 second. Just going to attend to the hotel room very quickly whilst on break, and I'll be right back before my break is over.
Thank you, Damo. Watching on YouTube, 𝗏𝗡𝗃𝗃. Well, at the table. Good luck, Liam, in the chat there. James Hopkins here, +1 with ace queen off. Does raise. Huss there in the hijack with ace-8. Lets it go. Very nice fold there with the ace. Now Nathan picks up 7s in the cutoff. Is he going to 3-bet? No, just flat. 𝗏 with the 7-2 going to let it go. Alan Wilson now in the small blind with king-10 off suit. Facing a min-raise and a call. Will flick in the rest for a call as well, and Pierre will come along as well with the jack-8. There are 4 ways to a flop here. A flop of 4-6-8 rainbow. Pierre does connect there with the 8. Does go check, check. James, the pre-flop aggressor, doesn't really hit his range. He does check. Nathan now is 7s. With second pair and a gut shot to the straight, may elect to bet here to protect some of his equity. The turn is a 3 of hearts. Goes check. Pierre bets 55,000 on this turn. James Hopkins does fold. Now it's on Nathan, who calls the 55. Alan will fold. The river's the jack of diamonds, giving Pierre 2 pair. He does decide to bet out 80,000 here. Now Nathan has to try and sniff this one out. It is 80,000 to call to win 415,000. Getting 5-1, but a 7's good that often. Does need to be right here 1 in 5 times if he makes his call. It's not too sure what bluffs Pierre has here. He has used the time bank. Chucks in another time bank. Really thinking about this one, Nathan. He does block the 5-7 though, with the pair of sevens, so he does block the straight. Still in the tank here, Nathan. He's used multiple time banks. Damiano is back in the booth with us.
Yeah, when watching it as I went upstairs, just to say goodnight to the partner, Nathan and Tanky with sevens, trying to really sniff it out. I can kind of understand, but I think when Pierre is this size, it's not particularly a bluff too much here, even though it's super small. And I think Nathan's made a very disciplined fold here, and proving why it would be nice to see him probably go deep. I have to say, Pierre, by the way, has had some stacks in this series as well.
Yeah. We do have Fat Panda on YouTube with their top 3 predictions. We've had Marcus, Haas, and Pierre.
Don't mind that as free predictions, especially if we see Van Marcus get a double. He could definitely be a feature on this FT.
100%. And George says, let's go, Pierre, in the chat on Facebook.
As someone that does love Pierre on the same table as myself, yeah, Pierre's a great guy, great to have around the community, and would love to see him go super deep here as well. And definitely playing deep heads up. Would love to see Pierre deep heads up because he's a very, very, very aggressive opponent. And I think would make for a great heads up duel, whoever he would play against.
All 7 of these players have been playing very well these last 2 days to make this final table.
Definitely, for sure. See Nathan following the Jack-9 suited here. Probably knows that he's a little bit hamstrung here with Hopkins and Haas very similar stacked. Alan Wilson, I believe, has been on a very good run over the last couple of months. And been in quite the form. Is probably going to open up button here, and he does with the 10-6 suited here. He's opening into Pierre, who does cover him, but into the short stack of Liam. Be interesting to see what Pierre does here. Does decide to make a fold. Do see some players decide to squeeze this one out the small blind, just to put on that ICM pressure, knowing that Liam is the shortest stack here at this table, and that Alan probably needs to overfold a bunch, but not the case here. And we're going to see probably this one be folded by Liam, which I believe he already has. Off to a shuffle. With that being said, I need to get back to the final table that I'm currently on, which is not this final table, unfortunately. But I will see you guys in the booth afterwards.
Mate, go there, take it down, and come back.
I hopefully will, but who knows? If not, if it's 5th, who cares?
Good luck, Damo.
Thanks, mate.
All right, still 7 remaining in this event. We got Huss here with 6s under the gun. Raising to 50, Nathan folds the ace-4. Folds around to Liam in the small blind with queens. This will be going in. $15 big blinds here from Liam and a premium holding. He will be putting this into the middle. He does have James in the big blind as well. He does 3-bet, not all in. 3-bets to 350,000, leaving himself just 2 big blinds behind. Potentially in case James woke up with a hand and decided to rejam, and then Huss putting it in as well. And Huss does find the fold there. And a nice little pot going Liam's way without showdown. Does move up to 20 big blinds. Heaps of playability. Nathan in the lead with 50 big blinds. Still anyone's game, this one. It's going to be a late one here tonight at the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Mawson Lakes in South Australia. It is 10:15 local time. Allen picking up the sixes this time. Decides to open to 50,000. Fold from Pierre in the cutoff. Just waiting for the graphics to catch up a little bit here. There is a call, but we are going to a flop. It was Huss that called in the big blind with fours. We're an ace-queen-2 flop. Both players missed this. It does favour Allen's range, though, being the pre-flop aggressor, who does continue here for, looks to be about 55,000 after Huss checks with the fours. It is 55,000. Huss does make the call. He's going to speculate a little bit as we go to a turn card. The 9 of spades rolls off on the turn. This does go check, check a lot, unless Huss decides to turn his hand to a bluff. He doesn't. Allen now will most likely check behind. No, he's reaching for chips. He's telling a convincing story that I've got an ace, get out of my pot. And that bet of 115,000, I think it was, is going to work. And Huss will fold the fours. Liam here in the cutoff with eights now. Does decide to open. Raising the 50,000. James on the button with ace-10. Can see him 3-betting here, can see him flatting as well. He does decide on the ladder and just flats. With both Huss and Nathan getting out of the way, we go to a flop. 9-9 king. There are the two four sides there, but James misses both of them. 8 still in the lead. Only a slight mathematical favourite here. An ace, a 10, or a king would take the lead for James. Not too bad of a flop for Liam here with 8s, with the board paired. Looks like Liam has put out about 45,000 there. We could see a float here from James. He does decide to call and go to a turn card. He does have the ace of clubs working for him as a backdoor flush. The 2 of clubs does come in, giving James the backdoor flush draw now. Interesting to see what Liam does here. If he does decide to fire another bet out at this, and what exactly James will do, he's floating the flop to try and pick up some equity. He has picked up some equity here with a club. Liam does decide to check. Does James take the free card now, or does he decide to put a bet in of his own and put the pressure back on Liam? Looks like he's put out some chips there. Can't quite see how much it is. It's 80,000 chips into a 255,000 chip pot. So just over a third of the pot he's bet here. Sorry, just under a third, I should say. Liam does call off to a river card, which is the Jack of Spades, which is no help here to James. I think James knows his ace high is no good here, and he will be putting out a bet to try and take this pot away from Liam. SPR of about 0.75 here. And it does go check, check. Liam announces eights and will take the pot down. Moves up to 743,000 chips, adding 240,000 there as well. And with that, it thins the field out a little bit with the stack sizes. Everyone ranging between 48 and 21. No real massive chip leader. No one really super short. Anyone's game here in the Goliath at the Australian Poker Tour. Folds around the Lamb on the hijack position. Ace-5 just lets it go. Going to try and find a better spot. Folds the hustle on the button now with Ace-9 suited and 1.1 million. Sitting there with 54 bigs. Does raise to look like 50,000. So 1.1 million, sorry, 44 bigs, not 54. My apologies. They're just discussing something here at the table about Huss's raise. Oh, so the blinds have one up as well, the 15.30. I did miss that. So looks like he tried to raise, didn't put enough out by the look, by the looks of it. And it has been ruled a call. Now the reason it has been ruled a call, I believe, because it wasn't enough for a raise, and if you remove the lowest chip, it doesn't cover the call. Therefore, it is being ruled as a call. Does flop top pair here though, Huss, against Van Marcus, who only has the 10 high. Now he puts out a bet, 40,000, and takes it down. So on the previous hand, that would have been a raise to 50, but on this hand, it has been ruled a call. Nathan with 40 bigs is chip leader now, as these stacks do get updated. Thank you to the blinds going up. So Nathan raises here to 65,000 with the 10-9 off the button. Van Marcus is just going to fold the ace. And now Alan in the big blind with the Jack-8 suited will be defending this hand. He does put in the call. We're off to a flop. There could be some dangerous flops here that connect both hands. The Jack-5-3 does connect with Alan. And the 2 spades does connect with Nathan. This could be interesting here. Top pair versus the flush draw and the backdoor straight draw. Nathan does decide he wants to bet at this after it's checked to him. Does go check, bet of 40,000 and call from Alan. off to a turn, which is the offsuit king. Could be a card that Nathan wants to represent after being the pre-flop raiser. Alan does check his second pair now. Nathan could continue with the flush draw. And he's also got the gut shot straight draw now. He does check that. River card. That's the 6 of spades. Nathan gets there with the flush on the river. Alan decides to check. Probably going to check call mode here, depending on this sizing. 255,000 in the middle. What sizing will he be going for here? He's going big. He's going full pot. 250,000 chips. Full pot bet here by Nathan. He's gone massive. Alan hasn't snap folded. He's thinking about this call. Counting out the calling chips here. This would be disastrous for Alan. This would leave him with roughly 700,000 chips if he does make this call. And this would extend Nathan's chip lead on the tournament as Alan puts in a time bank chip for an extra 30 seconds of time. Really thinking this one through. I'm not too sure what bluffs Nathan has here either. The most obvious draw does get there. So does the straight. If he was raising pre-flop being naughty with a 2-4 or a 7-4, the straight does get there. Alan does find an excellent fold. And the pot does go to Nathan, who is chipping up nicely to 1.3 million chips, 45 big blinds. Folds around to Huss, who folds the hijack at 10-5. Nathan folds the 9-10 on the cutoff. Van Marcus with the King-7 suited and less than 20 bigs. He's there with 18 big blinds. King-7 suited on the button. Does decide to open up. So the blinds have gone up to 30,000, so he's sitting there with, it's at about 15 big blinds. Does open up to 70,000. Gets a fold from Alan now. Pierre wakes up with an ace-queen and a big. What's he going to decide to do here? Yeah, Marcus with only 15 bigs. And Pierre does decide to raise here 230,000. Committing himself if Van Marcus was to shove. Now Van Marcus knows he's got no fold equity, so he just lays it down and moves on to the next hand. There are our payouts on the screen. 45.5 to the winner, 5,000 for ninth. There are only 7 left. They've all locked up $6,800 in prize money. We are down to 3 as well in the flipper. And Damiano is still in. So the booth run good continues for Damiano, who is 3-handed in the flipper. Good luck, Damiano. Simmer did go out in 4th. 135 player of the series points will push him back up into that top 2. Damiano will be climbing that leaderboard as well. Still have Xiao Quinn in as well, and Jean Lowe as well are our final 3 in the flipper. So we've got Hustlers flattened here from +1 with a Queen Jack suited for 30. Alan on the button has put in a raise. Looks like it's about 85,000. It is exactly 85,000. It folds from Pierre and Liam and James as well. And Huss calls with the Queen Jack suited, being dominated here. Flop of Ace 5 7. Misses both players, does favour Alan's range being the pre-flop raiser. We do see a check. Alan deciding he wants his pot. Decides to put out a bet. Looks like it is 85. I was going to say either 85 or 110. It was 85. And takes it down. Adds 160,000 chips to his stack in that hand. And climbs up into 3rd spot with 1.1 million. Nathan still sitting at 1.3. Pierre with 1.1 as well. And Hussein with just over 1 million are our 4 stacks who are above 1 million chips in this event. Welcome to everyone watching at home. And everyone watching here at the Crowne Plaza Hotel as well. Whether you're in a side event, watching us on YouTube, watching us on Facebook, please say hi. Come and see us in the booth. Come sit down, have a chat. Love to hear how your week's going here at EPT. Van Marcus folding the 7 deuce. Alan Wilson folding the 5 deuce. Pierre coming in with a raise there to 75,000 with the Ace 7. Liam folds the small. James in the big blind. Jack 8 of offsuit. Asking a couple of questions to the dealer by the looks of it, and does call for 45,000 additional chips. We are off to a flop. Heads up, a 3, 5, 6 with 2 clubs. Both players holding a club. Pierre with the ace of clubs and the gut shot. All right. Action is on James here, who bets out 55,000 with Pierre making the call. Off to a turn. A 6 of spades on the turn. It's actually a good card for Pierre here. Now it's less likely that James did have a 6 when the top pair does pair the board. Less combinations of the 6 in James's hand now. James decides to bet out again, 105,000. Pierre asking how much is it. I think in confirmation we'll be putting out that call with the ace high and a gut shot to the straight. The straight does get in there as well now for Pierre, who does have the check mark. Will James shut this down and check, or will he put a 3rd barrel? Takes out the earbud and decides to bet. There's 515,000 in the middle. Does bet 160 and gets snapped by Pierre, who shows him the bad news with the 7 high straight and adds 440,000. James down to 473,000 chips. After James dominated the bubble, and the soft bubble is now sliding down the rankings. Fairly unfortunate about that 4 coming in on the river. I think any other card and probably that bet works. Pierre does skyrocket up the rankings now, up to first place. 52 big blinds, 1.5 million chips. We've got Nico in the chat here on YouTube saying we'll be back for the weekend. Came in yesterday, 3 bullets, no good. Busted before bagging in the mid-stakes, unlucky. And let's go Huss. Make sure you drop in and say hi when you come back for the weekend, Nico. Good luck for the weekend. What are you going to be playing? Going to fire the main on Saturday? A few other events. We've got the Beast on Sunday as well. There are a few good tournaments on tomorrow, just having a look at the schedule. We've got day 2 of the mid-stakes starting at 11:30. Good luck to everybody who has a bag in that. We've got the Poker Shop 350 at 12 o'clock. There's a satellite to the Adelaide Champs. Then we've got the Adelaide Champs itself, the final flight, Flight E, which is going to be massive. We've got the Matchroom 333 Classic as well. A 𝗨𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗂𝗶 Black Ace double board. I think I'd definitely have a look into that one. That sounds like a lot of fun. And then there's a satellite bundle at 8:30, which is the Melbourne Champs, Hashem Deep Stack, and 3 nights accommodation. 2 packages guaranteed for $350 there. So Melbourne Champs main event and a Hashem Deep Stack and 3 nights accommodation. Very, very nice. Nico saying, yes, playing the main. Good luck in the main. And it's going to be a massive prize pool. Huss taking down that pot with a pair of 4s. Fat Panda, what's an ace diamond board? I think you're referring to the 𝗨𝗱𝗁𝗂𝗶 I just spoke about. Let us know if that's what you're talking about. I'll try and get some more information on that tournament. Sounds like a lot of fun. 𝗨𝗱𝗁𝗂𝗶 Black Ace double board. So I'll definitely have a look into that, see what the go is with that. Yes, Fat Panda, I'm just trying to find out for you exactly what the go is in that event. Still 7 remain here. Van Marcus is the shortest with 13 big blinds. Pierre, our chip leader, with 1.5 million. Kind of seems a bit unfair here. You got all the chips and picking up hands. Pierre with the ace king, raising to 100,000. Van Marcus may be putting this in here with just 10 big blinds in the big blind with 6s. I think he knows Pierre's never folding here after raising an early position. So he's just trying to decide if he's flipping or if he's dominated. I think if he thinks he's flipping, he just puts this in and runs it with 13 bigs. All right, after this hand, I will explain the bomb pot for Fat Panda. I do have a answer for you. Liam standing in the way of the camera. We can't quite see what's going on here. Looks like he has just flattered here, leaving himself just 255 behind. Just a pot size bet behind here for Van Marcus. Flops of Queen 8-2. It's going to be a tough spot now if Pierre bets. It doesn't, it goes check, check. And there's another Queen. No, I don't think I'm ever flatting there pre-flop. I think I'm just putting it in, realising my equity. Because it's such a tough spot now. Like if Pierre bets that flop, it's so gross. At least if you put it in pre, you get called. You get to see all 5 cards. You realise your equity is so much easier, so much better. So no, I'm probably never flatting. I'm probably just putting it in and running it. There are even times where Pierre could be getting out of line, playing the big stack, and you just pick it up pre-flop. Does get the fold here. All right, so this PLO double board bomb pot, you're playing PLO 5. If a black ace comes on the flop in your hand, like in that hand that you're playing, the very next hand is a double board bomb pot. Double board bomb pots, how they work, if you are unsure, everybody antes up a fixed amount. Everyone gets dealt their cards and you go straight to 2 flops. So there's 2 boards. There'll be a betting round, then 2 turns, a betting round, then a river. And the pot is chopped between the best hand on one board and the best hand on the bottom board. So you can scoop both boards. If you have the best hand on both, you can bet your opponents out and take the whole pot. But yeah, so if a black ace comes on the flop, next hand is one of those. They are a lot of fun, a lot of action. Such a good inclusion here at the APT. So we've got Pierre now limping under the gun with Queen 10 suited. Nathan on the button with King Jack. Nathan thinking this one over. Sorry, he has put in a call as well. Van Marcus will complete from the small blind. Alan checking the big blind of 7-2 suited. Got a flop of 8 ace queen with 2 clubs, 2 flush draws. Van Marcus and Alan both with flush draws. Alan's being better, being the 7 high flush draw. The queen for Pierre being second pair, and a gut shot for Nathan. Every player has a piece of this flop. You don't often see that when you're 4 ways. I will answer your question after this hand, Fat Panda, in regards to the betting on the double board bomb pot. It is a sensible question. I do have an answer for that. I will explain it to you. We see a bet here from Pierre with second pair, a call from Van Marcus for 50 as well, and Alan does come along with his flush draw. Off to a turn card. A 5 of diamonds on the turn. Has Van Marcus drawing dead at the moment with Alan in the pot. He does check, Alan checks. Pierre decides to check as well. A club on this river would be disastrous for Van Marcus. It is a club. The 8 of clubs on the end. Does pair the board, but wouldn't be too many sets and 2 pairs that have now filled up. Van Marcus with the better 70. Alan just calling the 70 and will win this pot. 6 high flush versus the 7 high flush. As Alan takes in that pot. So with the betting round, Fat Panda, what happens is there is one pot and you're betting into that one pot that will then be chopped across both boards. So you're not saying, I'm betting 20,000 chips on the top board or I'm betting 20,000 chips on the bottom board. You're just placing a bet. Nobody knows which board you're playing. If you're playing one, if you're playing both, if you're playing neither and trying to bluff it with a blocker or whatever. You just got to remember, though, that if you are turning your hand into a bluff in this game, you can get called by someone from the other board and still lose both boards if they happen to beat you somehow on the other board as well. But, you know, a lot of action. One pot will get split into 2 at the end of the hand across both boards. Hopefully that has explained it well enough for you. Still 3 players left as well in the flipper. Damiano is still in that one. No worries there, Fat Panda. Too easy. Anytime, any questions, flick them through, and if I can answer them, I'll answer them. All right, back to the action here. James letting go with the Jack 4 under the gun. Still smiling. Nathan opening the Queen Jack from the hijack. Opens to 65. Van Marcus picking up 7-2 again. Letting this one go. All right, folds around to Liam in the big blind, who's got the 10 Jacko and decides to flick in the call for 35,000 more chips. 8-9 Queen. Liam flops the world with the straight. Does flop the nuts with Nathan flopping top pair with a gut shot and a backdoor flush. Draw working for him. Could see fireworks here. Does bet, looks to be 40,000 chips. Liam definitely not going anywhere with the nuts. Looks like Liam's check raised here to what looks like 120,000. It is 120,000 there. Back on Nathan now with a decision. Top pair, gut shot, and the backdoor jack high flush draw. I don't think Liam's getting out of line often here. Nathan does make the call. We're off to a turn card. There are some interesting turn cards in this deck. That does not change anything. 10 Jack is still the nuts on this board. What will Liam decide to do here? Does he now take the betting lead and lead out after raising the flop? He's just cutting down his stack. See how much he's got. He's got 528 behind. Throws in a time bank. He does put out betting chips. Can't see how much. It is 180,000 chips into 415. Nathan getting 3-1 here on a call. You can see he's only got 4% equity, which is to chop it. Only the 10 will chop it. 3 outs left in deck. Cannot scoop this pot. Will he find the fold here? Or is he a non-believer? He has moved all in. It is bad news here for Nathan as Liam is going to snap him off, beat him into the pot. Only a 10 to chop it, otherwise Nathan is going to lose a lot of chips in his hand. It is a 9. Liam gets a full double. I didn't see that one coming. I actually thought Nathan might have gotten away from that. I don't know if Liam has too many bluffs in his range there and decides to check raise flop, lead turn. That is going to put Liam up into the chip lead now. 1.4 million, good for 49 big blinds. And leaves Nathan with just 20 big blinds. Still a workable stack here in this event. I do have bad news for Damiano fans. He has just busted in third in the flipper. We are down heads up now with Gel Queen and Jean heads up in the flipper. Good luck to both of those. Let the best poker player win that one. But Damiano is out in third with 158 player of the series points and 3,100 Australian dollars. Well done, unlucky. GG. Huss does pick up ace king here under the gun. Raises to 65. Nathan quickly folds to 7-8. Van Marcus folds as well. Over to Alan in the big blind. Jack 6 gets out of the way. Pierre also folds. Liam in the small blind. Picks up Queen 8 of spades. Decides to let this one go. Now James in the big blind with Jack 6 suited. Puts in the call for 35,000 more. Going to a flop, 175,000 chips in the middle. Regan with the go to sleep, Liam. You look tired. The 6-8-9 does hit James to take the lead. Huss does have 2 overs and the backdoor flush goes check, check. The 2 of diamonds on the turn is not one of those backdoor flush cards. In fact, it does give James the flush draw now as well. So 89% now, James Huss will have to hit an offsuit ace or a king. The ace or the king of diamonds will be no good to him. James betting 40,000 chips and gets called by Huss here. The 5 of diamonds does give the flush to James Hopkins, who is going to take down his much needed pot after being on a bit of a downward spiral. And just like I announced the bad news in the flipper, Damiano has just joined me back in the booth. Unlucky, mate.
Not much we can do.
What happened there?
Not too much. Got down to free-handed. I think average stack's like 9 bigs, so pretty hyper turbo.
Okay.
Jam, button with 7s, and Jean, who I think is now chip leading in the small blind, makes up ace jack. Unfortunately, 7s do not hold, or else we are the chip leader. Heads up. But it is what it is.
7s in the Goliath as well, wasn't it?
No, 9s in the
9s in the Goliath. 9s versus kings.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And 7s versus ace jack, jack in the window. Can't do much. Anytime you max late rego and you can, 10x your money, you take it. So
Every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
yeah, that's correct. Grateful, but another APT final table for myself without a trophy.
You'll join us one day, mate, and get a trophy.
That is correct. Just need another mixed game, that is for sure. Big pot here for James Hopkins, though.
Very much needed there.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on the streams to keep up to date. Seems like Nathan's lost a few chips as well from when I was last in the booth too.
Yeah, he just played a big hand against Liam where he shoved turn on a 8-9 queen 7 board with the queen jack, and Liam flopped it with the 10 jack. And snapped him off, drawing to a chop.
I must have missed that one. I must have been in the tournament when I wasn't looking, but yeah. Unfortunate there for Nathan. But 7 left. Still a little bit of money to play for up top, of course. Over 40k for first.
Yeah, not a bad day's work.
Yes, it's not a bad day's work at all. Good to see some familiar faces still with us, though. And if you are watching in chat, say good day. Let us know where you're watching from. If you are watching over on the YouTube, of course, do let us know how your night is panning out. As we see, Alan Wilson here opening up the ace-5-0. Pierre making a fold here with the ace-9-0. Limu's chipped up a little bit here at this final table now, over to 1.4 million. That was our short stack at one stage.
Chip leader now.
Correct. Very well versed is Liam. The cream does rise to the top in these tournaments and is one of the best around, so shout out to Liam.
Did win a main event at Crowne Melbourne a year or two ago.
Last year, yep. Definitely did for over 300k, I reckon, on the top of my head.
Yeah.
Might have been over 200. I'm pretty certain it was over 300k. Liam very well versed and knows exactly what he's doing. Anyhow, not involved in this pot as Huss does defend the big blind here with the ace-8 and flop middle pair.
Alan with the backdoor flush draw only being 5 high does pick up a gut shot as well now on the turn.
Does go check here. Alan looking to improve, which he does not here on the 10 of diamonds. Be interesting to see how this plays out here. Does just go check and hustle win this one in a very small pot.
I do like to see the fast play as well. It keeps it a little bit more entertaining.
Correct. Definitely agree with that as well. Always good when there's a bit of quick play. Also very good from just an ICM perspective there to keep the pot small for both these guys. We do have a short stack here in Nathan Glass and James Hopkins. Say short, still 20 bigs.
Still 20 bigs, still deep enough to make moves here and play post flop for sure. Chip leader Lamb on 49 bigs, so yeah, one double up and they're in the lead anyway.
Correct. Hand number 34 of this final table. You can see the counter in the top right corner as Pierre's picked up ace 10 here in the hijack, and we will expect to see an open from Pierre, which he does find. Any favourite moments from your commentary all day today, Graham? I know you've been in the booth by yourself. Have you had any special guests in or any moment that's really stood out to you?
I had a few guests in today. We started off with Catherine joining me at the start.
Yep.
And then she had a bit of work to do a bit of media stuff around here. And then Jackson Warren jumped in for a little bit.
Oh, good old Jackson.
Yeah, had a good chat with Jackson. He spoke about his podcast that he's been doing and how it started off as an idea between himself and Shane.
Yep.
And now he's taken it on, decided to do it, and spoke a bit about his dad's journey, and now he speaks about the journey of these guests and their journey through and how they know his father and stuff like that.
Yep.
That was very, very good. Craig 𝗦𝗱𝗏𝗍𝗂 jumped in the booth as well.
Beautiful. Good to have Craig behind the mic and not behind the production, I would say.
Ross the boss jumped in for a bit as well. That was excellent.
That would
very
have been
good
fun.
insight as Alan here picks up 9s under the gun.
We'll see an opening from Alan.
And then yourself as well. So it's been good as Pierre picks up ace king +1 here.
We will get a free bet here. Be interested to see what Alan wants to do here pre. Especially with Hopkins and Nathan both being sub 20. We could probably see a lot of flats here from 9s. James picking up 6s here, just insta-mucking.
Yeah, not even thinking about it. Straight in the middle.
It's what ICM will do.
What do you like here from Alan? Do you like the 4-bet or just flat?
I think flat's the best play because, again, putting a lot of chips in and at risk where we have 2 other short stacks sub 20 is not great. Times you flop a 9, you might also get some aggression from the from a stack that is covering and is one of the chip leaders. And
It's a really nice flop for 9s without flopping a set.
he does indeed. Pierre's going to come and fire, and I think there's nothing else to do here but just play flat.
Does announce 200 as he string puts those chips into the middle, but did announce 200. I don't see Alan going anywhere. Can you ever shove here for 3 times this bet? Or you just run into it too often with the overpairs?
I think if you shove here, what else is calling you but better over pairs? Because you've got to think, is Pierre finding the free bet here with 7s and 6s and 8s? Don't think so. I think just calling here and playing turns is perfectly fine. You're up against a capable player that can blast off into you. You know, ICM's a factor here with James and Nathan both being sub 600.
Just looking at these stacks, I actually think the chip count might be wrong. Saying Alan has 400,000, but he has a lot more than that in front of him.
It doesn't seem to be, which does make sense here.
It does.
Pierre getting there on the river here with the backdoor flush. I think Pierre maybe could have fired turn. He has more Jack X in his range. All those Ace Jacks and King Jacks suitors that he could have free bet, that he could pile on the turn. Be interested to see what size Pierre goes here now that he picks up the nuts.
Well, wasn't happy with his bet size. Pulls it back and...
Having to think about it, looks like he's going to go on the larger side, and I think if Alan thinks about this for long enough, he will find a fold here. It's a pretty bad river. There shouldn't be too many 4x apart from ace-4 suited that Pierre has. We would imagine 4s are free betting, so it's ace-4 suited. Those ace-x combos that do make the nuts on the river as well. The jack on the turns wasn't a great card, but he would imagine that Pierre would have bet that on the turn. So it'd be interesting to see what Alan does here.
Yeah, the turn did go check.
Again, which might make Alan think he's going to rule out some Jack X, which might think that his 9s are good here. But I do think with Nathan and James both being a bit on the shorter side, that he's probably going to lean fold. He definitely has more than the 400k that he has left back there.
Yeah, I think the 400k just in oranges, so plus all the blue 25k chips as well, it's probably about another 300 there. It's probably about 700 or 800 behind here.
Correct. I think that's probably a great estimate there from yourself there, Graham. Always interesting to see what players do in these deep spots.
I'm just watching Pierre. He looks so comfortable, doesn't he? Like, there's no cares. Just, yeah, put it in or fold. I don't care. Let's just move on to the next hand.
Cool as a cucumber. He's been there plenty of times before there, Pierre. About looking at his hand, I would say that there's multiple cashes here for post 20k. Was part of the APT State for State Championship team for South Australia last year as well. Definitely been there, been around the traps, plays a lot of high stakes cash. So I think he is definitely well versed in these high pressure situations. You can tell that 𝗏𝗏 probably knows that. He's just not even looking at him to get a read. He is just more in the tank and having a think.
Yeah.
𝗏𝗏 using his last time bank chip.
They're worth gold in this event as well. You get into spots where you need them. You need extra time if you need it.
𝗏𝗏 really thinking about it. And I think when players take this long, they generally lean call in the last few seconds. And 𝗏𝗏 does find a call, and Pierre's going to roll over the nuts. In the end, the check on the turn from Pierre does get him paid, and Pierre's going to chip up very nicely here. 𝗏𝗏 has more than 125k, I do believe. But we'll double check that in just a second. As you can see, you pre-flop ways. 𝗏𝗏's actually been on the aggressive side with Pierre here at 20%. Same with Nathan Glass. As you can see, a couple of our short stacks here being a bit more of the shorter, just trying to ladder and find those ICM spots to ladder up. Yeah, it looks like 𝗏𝗏's got more than 125 just there in the oranges very clearly. So definitely isn't our shortest stack. He might be our shortest stack, but very close to what James and Nathan are currently sitting on, I would say.
Safe to say he has around the 400,000 chips.
Yes, correct.
Good for about 13 bigs, roughly, depending on his exact stack size.
Very true. Folds around to Van Marcus, who will fold, and I think 𝗏𝗏's about to get a walk here with the Jack-2 suited. Hand number 36 is a walk. I don't know how many walks you've seen so far on this FT.
I've seen a couple, but there was a couple with a dead small blind earlier.
There you go.
So it's just, the button just folds, and it was James, actually, picking up his big blind, making nothing out of it, just gets his big blind and Andy back.
Perfect. Yeah, 𝗏𝗏 does not have the 4.7 bigs, ladies and gentlemen. As you just saw on that graphic, it does look like there is more there from this camera angle. Be interesting to see what happens here. Might be a little bit of a ICM war here between Hopkins, Glass, and 𝗏𝗏 trying to find that extra ladder. What's our remaining payouts, Graham?
Yep, let's just get them up. We are playing for... There's 7 left at the moment, 6,800 for 7th, 8,350 for 6th, 10,500 for 5th, 14,180 for 4th, 20,250 for 3rd, 29,250 for 2nd, and 45,500 to one of these lucky 7 players.
Definitely very true that we have some pay jumps that are coming that are definitely worth it. I will say that it's less than a buy-in pay jump between 7th and 6th, so might make a couple of these players be less incentivized to make some tighter folds, just from a purely a buy-in perspective. But yeah, be interesting to see what happens here. As 𝗏𝗏 Wilson has gone all in and Pierre is just insta-mucked it. I was about to say that wasn't a fold from 𝗏𝗏, so graphic just catching up there.
Yeah. We will try and get 𝗏𝗏's stack fixed for you.
Unsure about what the reason could be, D-Money, but good to see you in the chat, and hopefully you're doing well.
It could be something as simple as the blinds not getting adjusted when they were meant to be on the Poker GFX.
And I think we're getting an updated count here from the dealer as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so it definitely has been picked up by the tech team out the back. So great work from them to produce the stream and keep the chip stacks up to date. Without them, we do not get a stream, so very good work. And yes, it seems it will get updated here shortly. That 𝗏𝗏's chip stack is at around that 400, the 450,000 mark, I would say.
All right. still waiting on Alan's chip stack to get updated. It has been counted by the dealer and sent back to our production team.
Always a very high level here at APT, so it should be updated shortly for you guys. We see Nathan finding a fold here, and Van, I think, has found the all-in. Wait to see if there's any action here.
Pierre does find a fold as well. We have lost our graphics for the moment.
They will be back momentarily, I would imagine, or momentarily. There we are. It's probably the better way to pronounce that. One of those tongue twisters.
You did better than me.
It's like trying to pronounce 𝗦𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗂𝗃 from Mary Poppins.
Try and spell it.
Yeah.
I can spell it.
Definitely some tongue twisters out there. As we do have the graphics back, and they are coming back here.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Alan up to 595. That seems more like it.
Great work from the team behind the production. And now we have the updated counts here.
Which makes a lot more sense given the hand before with Alan.
On to hand number 39. Van Marcus again picking up another one, which he will just put in the middle here with a 345k stack.
11.5 bigs goes in the middle.
Definitely is a shorter stack, less ICM. No need to induce this one here off 11. It's very comfortable, just open jamming. And I think we're going to get a very quick round through this time.
It's a nice pick up there. 11.5 bigs to start the hand, picks up an additional 2.5, adds like 25% roughly to his stack without the showdown. It's very valuable.
Definitely. Start getting that 14 big blind stack now where you might start looking to min open, but, you know, sub 12, sub 10.
Yep.
Definitely looking just to open jam these hands here. Happy to take it down.
I'm interested to see how Nathan responds after that hand against Liam.
Look, Nathan, being the type of person he is, I don't know enough about his poker career to know, but just from what I've gauged and playing with him here in the SA local circuit, has a very good temperament about himself, and I'm sure that he'll be able to mentally reset and bounce back. Yeah, it was a big hand, and it's always interesting to see how these higher level players are able to cope with that sort of setback. Separates probably the good from the great, I would say, is that little bit of mental game and how to readjust after taking maybe a line that they weren't particularly happy with in the moment.
Looking at Nathan here, he doesn't look like he's tilting. He's just leaning off the table, whether he's eating something or on his phone. Doesn't look like he's tilting, which is a positive sign for Nathan. Hopefully he can bounce back and run up a stack.
Yeah, it looks like he might be just taking a hand note here, and probably just shows a studied player that's probably going to look at the spot later on. Which is definitely something I'd recommend to the people watching here on the Facebook or the YouTube, that if you are looking to improve, is sometimes to take your hands in-game when you get a moment, just to review them later at a different time.
What sort of software would you use to review your hands?
I personally use GTO Wizard, and I do have a subscription for that, which I run through, which I did check my 9-9 hand that I got in against Troy's Kings. Solver actually off 18 prefers jam, and then it was a mix between jam and raise, and the raise from 18 bigs that they wanted to use for a race. I was 17.9, only 0.1 of a big behind, as the solver likes to do. So found
So jam.
So I'm very glad that I found that in game, even though sometimes you do bust when you play well, and yeah, I feel like today one of those ones. But it seems like that's what Nathan's doing here. As you can see him typing his notes into his phone. So looks like he's just taking a moment here to reset, and while he's on the gun there to probably take down some notes about that hand here. Definitely not out of it. One double, back to $1 million, just over $1 mil with the blind and ante. So, yeah, one double up could see a big swing here. And it'll be interesting to see if that does come for Nathan or for someone like James Hopkins, who I think if he gets chips in this final table, will definitely back himself in to go super deep, considering his hand and mob and, you know, what he's done in the game.
And James put a lot of pressure on everybody else on that bubble as well. Played really, really well.
Perfect. Got a comment from Facebook there from D-Money, good to know, and it has been updated for you, D-Money. Thank you, and hopefully be able to attend in a few days. Hopefully you can. We do have a couple of big events coming up. I actually think on the Sunday, the Beast, 25k guarantee, 450 buy-in, I think off the top of my head.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was 450 or 350, but looks like quite a premium tournament for your Sunday afternoon. If you are in the area, D-Money, more than welcome to come on down to this lovely venue.
I wish I was allowed to play. There's a tournament tomorrow. I don't know if you've seen it. The PLO5 double board bomb pot black ace.
I've already told my partner that if we are around at that time, that I'll probably will be firing, unless I'm deep in the mid-stake. But yeah, I believe if a black ace comes on board, it will be a bomb pot next hand. I think it's the way that's being run. I'm unsure.
Yes, that is correct. I got confirmation on that a little bit earlier in the stream, and yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Definitely. Here we are, as we small blind versus big blind here with the ace-5 as the ace-7, and it looks like that Huss is checked, and I just expect this to go check here.
Huss does have a gut shot as well.
Interesting to see what happens if Nathan does find that small probing bet, what Huss would like to do here. It looks like Nathan's going to find one, actually, here with ace-high. I think if you're Huss, you're probably still finding call here. Ace-high could be the best hand, and you got the gut shot to a 4. He also has the ace of spades blocker too.
Yep, 70 into 270.
Yep. Be interesting to see what he finds.
There's no quarter pot.
This is where I think I don't mind Nathan finding bet because he does have the ace of spades. If the spade does roll off here on the river, he could fire. As so happens, it is a 5, which is a bad card for Nathan. As I do expect this to go check, and Huss to win this quite a fair chunk of the time.
Does Nathan ever try and bluff this card?
He could do.
Trying to get a better ace high to fold, like an ace-8, ace-9?
Could do as well. Don't know how often it works here, but be interesting to see. The flop did go bet 40 call, so
Yeah.
there is some 10x that Nathan could obviously have knuckled back in the big line. So
Does go check.
Is check, and Nathan's going to see the bad news, unfortunately.
D Money, are you talking about the hand with Nathan losing his chips earlier? If so, yes, we do remember. That was against Liam. Flop of 8-9 queen. Liam did have the 10 jack for the flop straight. Nathan had the queen jack for the top pair and the gut shot. Turn was a 7, the money went in, and the river repeated the 9, and Liam got the full double, which crippled Nathan as well.
Nathan Glass now, after losing that pot down to just under 300k, getting into that territory of getting quite short.
Sub 10 bigs now.
Luckily for him, he is in the big blind now, so after getting through this, he will get a full orbit before being back in the big again and getting down to that 5 big blind range where you start losing your fold equity. So hopefully for his sake, he finds a hand.
Huss on the button here with 5s. Looks like a limp.
Interesting choice.
The blinds have gone up now to 2040 as well. I did miss that.
So both players in the small blind and the big blind had less than 10 bigs. I think the more standard play here would have just been the jam from Huss, but I think as played here, we're going to just see a...
Nathan with a royal flush draw here.
I don't think he's in the hand. I think he folded, as you can tell from the graphic.
He has, yes.
I think this is just going to go check now, as all things considered. This is why I think a hand like pocket 5s here for sub 10, you just put in the middle and just go, look, guys, if you wake up with something better, then so be it. If not, we're likely flipping. Don't want to go post-flop here with a hand that needs protection, because this happens now. 𝗏𝗏 bets the 1 big, and now he's just like, well, lose everything and we have to fold. So I think Huss, who definitely has had a deep run in the Crowne, the Aussie Millions in the closing event, I think it was. He made the final table, came 6th or 5th.
Okay, yep.
Has picked up a lot of cashes around. Definitely one of the local MTT grinders who grinds a lot of the weekly events here in South Australia. Just definitely knows, but maybe has missed a spot just then.
Now, there's been a couple of hands that have been played differently to how I thought they would have been played. That was one of them.
Yeah, and like maybe because it jumps only 2k as well, maybe this gets ruled out. But if he jams in the small blind Nathan folds and 𝗏𝗏 has a marginal one, he might overfold it because of the ICM of the next page up, and knowing that obviously Nathan has got half his chip stack. And
I expect 𝗏𝗏 to put 12 big blinds into the middle here with ace-5 suited.
It'd be interesting to see. He has done so.
Yeah.
And Alan Wilson with the king 4 is probably just going to fold it. And a nice little chip up again for 𝗏𝗏, who seems to just be finding chips at the right time, hands at the right time, and just accumulating and hanging around that 15 big blind mark, which is the hallmark of being able to stay in the tournament, chip preserve. and then put yourself in a position when there's final 5, final 4 to find that double, put yourself in a position to win. So credit to Van Marcus hanging around and picking his spots quite well, it seems, on this final table.
Nathan down now to about 5 big blinds.
Correct.
6 big blinds. 6.3.
Hopefully, for Nathan's sake, he does find a hand, but the shorter he gets, less fold equity he's going to have. So I would likely say that a jam's going to be coming in this orbit.
Like I said, he has just paid his blinds, so he does have a few hands now to wait.
Huss here is opened, and we do find the jam here from Nathan, who has got the king-queen suited. This is going to get called. Van Marcus does fold king-10, which is not great for Nathan.
He hasn't folded yet.
I think he has now.
Has now, yep. Huss will be making this call for 5.
Allen folding ace-9, so a couple of outs removed for both players.
Does have the flush covered, though.
Surprised that Huss has raised here in Nathan's jam for what, just over 6 bigs?
Yeah, 6.3, I think it is. Yeah.
Hasn't called. He should really have probably put the money in the middle here from now. However, he's counting it out and taking his moment. But I do expect to see ace-8 suited here be put in the middle. And I do believe we have seen the call. And we are going to be off to 5 cards and the races. It's going to be the ace-8 of clubs up against the king-queen of clubs. Both suits are taken. And Nathan is going to have to find one of the picture cards here to find a double. And as we can see there from that run out, an ace on the flop and no good there for Nathan. He is unfortunately going to be our 7th place finisher. Still good for a little bit of prize money. And always nice to see after a bust out shaking other players' hands as well. Good etiquette there from Nathan,
100%.
who I still think is a little annoyed probably considering the hand that happened before, but nothing to be ashamed about, and definitely could take some solace from taking a spot on a final table, which, you know, some players can shy away from on the live stream. Probably credit needs to be shown for finding the moment and finding a play that he thought could get the job done. Unfortunately, it hasn't for him today, but our 7th place finisher is Nathan Glass, and we're down to 6.
We are. Let's just have a quick look over at the flipper. We are finished over there. Zhao Quinn did take that down for 6,500, so it looks like a deal may have been done.
Yeah, we're talking about a deal, and I briefly said, look, probably not till a heads up, and even then, I wasn't really a fan of doing a deal. It was hyper turbo by that stage, so just flip your stacks and off we go. Shout out to Gene. I think that might be his largest cash. He's one of the local dealers down here, but deals a lot down at Stacked. But has transitioned to playing, I think, a little bit more full-time. So, yeah, shout out to Gene. I think that might be his largest cash now, unless there's an online cash that I'm unaware of. But very well played. I thought he played a great final table. And shout out to Johnny, who ships another ABT title. I think he won 2 when it was here in South Australia in 2024.
Oh, wow. Okay, nice.
Off the top of my head, I reckon he shipped the opening event, whatever it was from that series, and one of the 1Ks, I think, as well. So shout out there to Johnny, who has done particularly well.
Alan has jammed here with the 8s.
Looks like Van Marcus here, counting out what it would do to his stack and having to think about it. After opening pre, we do have a time bank as well. So it was gone open for Van Marcus for 85,000, and Alan has found jam here for 495k. Van Marcus does fold. We do have a mystery hand as it was not scanned, but it'll be interesting to see what was folded. We won't know. But it seems like Van Marcus was bottom of range here, and Alan picking up a nice spot here. And a good jam through for Allen with the pocket eights. And we're on to the next hand. If there's a little bit of background noise coming through on the stream, do let us know. We do have a break, I believe, in one of the main event flights, which does look like clearing the guarantee quite swimmingly in the 600. So it'll be interesting to see how much gets up top in the main. I know the mid-stakes are back at 11:30 tomorrow for day 2.
Nice. You've got a bag?
I have a smaller bag in the mid-stakes. I think it's a 30k start, so I've got 38.5 or 38 off the top of my head. I do think they're replaying the levels from day 1 for day 2.
Was that the 2-4, I think you said?
Yeah,
last night,
that's what was posted on the Facebook, but the schedule online does say different, so it'll be interesting to see what it is. But either or, anything with 10 bigs or more is generally good for day 2 because it means you've got some sort of fold equity if you do get it in pre. So
yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens. But if there is some background noise coming through, I do apologise, as I think it's the last break for the main event flight tonight that will have max late register. If you are in the vicinity and you are looking for a bag, there is about 30 minutes or so of late registration in the 600 main.
Yeah, nice.
Liam here on the button and will be opening. James with only 500k, and Huss obviously has got Liam covered, but I still think Liam's going to be opening. Huss does defend the big blind here with the Queen 7 suited, and will play check. Liam here with top pair, top kicker, probably going to find c-bet. Be interesting to see what Huss will do to a small size if Liam does go it. Not saying it would work in here in this particular situation, but considering the combo of hand that Huss has, he could play check raise.
What a turn card here.
Now we're going to see fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. Flush draw and a gut shot here for Huss. Liam turning trips. Would have been very interesting turn card if Huss did find check raise. There's definitely some people out there in this field that would have found check raise, I do believe. Especially when you cover the button as well. It does go check, check, and Liam disguising the strength of his hand. Whether is the deuce of clubs. Huss will check. I think he's going to give up on this one here, and prudently so, considering that Liam has the ace-10.
Liam will be going for a small bet here, I assume. Or does he go large and try and rep the spades, the missed spades, and try and get called by an 8 or a 6?
I think he goes on the larger side because the defending range of the big blind should hit this board a lot. Should hit an 8, should hit a 6. Yes, they check raise at some frequency. So he should just go large and target it. I'm unsure of the size. 370.
Oh, full pot.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
very good call from yourself there, Graham. You can pat yourself on the back for that one. Very well done. But yeah, Liam recognising the spot, recognising the range, and knows that he's right at the top of his, and Huss should have a lot of calls on that board. Unfortunately for him, it was Queen 7 suited. Again, if that's a different player in the big blind, different player type, might have found check raise, barrel on the turn, and jam on the river, and Liam probably would have got all the chips because he probably isn't folding a 10 there on the brick river.
I do believe we have lost the table mic, unfortunately. So you have to listen to us for the rest of the night.
And Wilson UTG off the short stack here. Does a fine fold with the Queen 4. Thought that was a little bit longer of a tank, but it was mucked fairly quickly. Just
Yeah, the graphics took a little time to catch
that's
up.
perfectly fine. The new shorter stack here is going to be James Hopkins now that Van Marcus has found a couple of those squeeze spots too. So be interested to see how both of them navigate this, considering the ICM now, especially with that now pay jump that has been secured by both players.
Huss just open ripping the 10 big blinds effective here and getting it through with ace king.
Yeah, so interesting to see that he limped the 5s on the button, but then open jams ace king here. interesting information for the players that do have access to the stream. They can't watch it at the table at some
Correct.
other places where you can have a phone at the feature. I believe APT does not.
That is correct.
While the live stream is in play, and but there is a table outside, and obviously they can get the information relayed to them if they do as well. One to note that he chose to limp 5s off 10 small blind versus big blind when he was on the button, and then open jam, which might mean that his open jamming range is going to be more pushed towards just value.
Yeah, the higher end.
Yeah.
The top of his range. Liam does open here from the hijack to 80,000 with the ace 7-0.
Would expect we're going to see a defend here and at least a flop for Alan Wilson. Queen 9 suited. Definitely going to be one to defend.
How often is Liam getting out of line here, do you think?
Considering Pierre has folded UTG and he has position on that, and he's probably seen that Haas hasn't really taken those spots. I don't know if he saw the Queen 7 suited. I don't know if Haas showed it. I think Liam, being how studied of a player is, understanding game flow, you know, he's one of Australia's best. Let's be honest. Probably is really tuned into the fact that once Pierre has folded, that he can probably run the show, and is probably getting out of line a little bit more than he would on some other final tables and some other final table dynamics.
Alan does flop a flush draw here. Does check it.
With an over as well. Interesting to see what Liam decides to do. He could go small. He could also check back.
I think Liam has checked. He has, yes.
Yes.
The board pairs the 6.
Interesting to see how Alan plays this. This is a card that does favour his range.
It does.
As a big blind defender, you do like leading with the board pairs on the turn when it is a low, you know, it's below the top card on the board.
Second pair, third pair pairs,
It would have been interesting to see if he found lead, because by leading there on the turn, and if it does brick on the river, you would be able to obviously continue and tell that story and put some ace highs, etc., in some tough positions. Not the case here. It has played check, and Liam is betting 110 here. I think Alan now, after checking flop, just has to call and hope to get their river. Once you take away the option of check raise and not leading turn, you can't really do too much.
Yeah. The offsuit 3 does not help Alan on the river, so Liam will win this if it goes to showdown. It looks like it has gone check in the end.
Yeah, Liam, again, probably being in the flow and understanding the game dynamic at the moment, knows that when it goes check, bet, call, that there is some draws that are there. And also that he could have picked up some 6x that he's checked, that he planned to check raise as well. Definitely think if Alan found the lead on the turn on the paired board after not getting the ability to check jam flop, that he probably can fire river, and Liam would be in a very tough spot there with ace high, because the big blind has a lot of 10x, 6x, 4x, etc. So unfortunately there for Alan, didn't find it, but that's okay. He's still sitting around here, and him and James are quite similar in stack, and Van Marcus in the small blind also. So could have crossed his mind too, and that he's trying to keep it a little bit smaller here to try and find at least one more ladder.
Yeah, for sure. James picking up chips here. He is in the hijack, 6-handed. Looks like he has jammed all in.
He has indeed. I don't believe we got a scan of the cards. We have actually.
Ace
it is
queen,
ace queen, so pretty standard here.
Of 12 bigs.
Again, one of these spots where by taking it down pre, we'll increase his stack here by 2 to 3 big blinds.
And when you've only got 12, you're increasing it by 3. You are increasing it by 25% there, so it's quite a big pickup.
Very true. I think, again, if you get towards that 15 big blind range, you can start min-raising and, you know, min-raise folding, min-raise getting it in, etc. But I think when you're sub 12, especially with a couple other similar stacks around, just picking up those blinds right then and there are very important. Doesn't get called. It could be right well ahead with ace queen, etc. Or just flipping. And Wilson here on the button here, 430k, just under 11 bigs, 10.9 big blinds.
This is probably one of those newer spots that you can go to that 400,000, leaving yourself 30 behind, just in case.
He does find jam instead, and
Pierre
Pierre is going
wakes
to
up with it.
snap him up with the ace king. Liam has folded a king though, so Spades alive, and it does look like 3-4's alive in the deck here for Allen. I don't think there's much else he could have really have done here. I think he's too short to get funky with a mid-race fold here as well.
You know, I don't think he's ever been raised folding, but I thought he could have gone to slightly smaller, like 400, left himself a big blind behind, just in case he went shove in front of him.
Correct. And
or
that's
behind him, sorry.
And that's the play. That's the plan of leaving that one big blind behind, is in case it does go like that. It's a good board for ace-4, considering
Does have chop outs.
There is chop outs.
Picks up the straight draw as well now. Does not hit it. We are going to lose Allen in 6th spot.
And
GG's.
Allen is our 6th place finisher there. Leaves 𝗏𝗏𝗃 now as our short stack here at basically 10 big blinds, just under at 9.9. Then James Hopkins in 4th, Husson in 3rd. And our 2 chip leaders that are starting to run away a little bit from the rest of the pack is going to be Liam Jeju and Jehu.
Jeju is a place in Asia, I believe.
Yeah.
Jeju.
Jehu. And Pierre, who has been deep in a few events this series, Pierre, without any conversions. So good to see a deep run from Pierre.
Yep, nice bloke as well.
Yep.
I was walking through the room last night and he goes, "What are you drinking? I get you a drink." I said, "I don't drink. Not often." So I said, "I'm good, thank you." But, you know, very nice guy, Pierre.
Yeah, Pierre's always one to offer up a drink or just make sure that you're welcomed and have a little bit of fun and take that edge off of a very serious game as Pierre, with that table talk and the way he presents himself at the table. Very nice family man that also knows how to dabble in high-stakes poker when he does decide he wants to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Folds into Pierre on the button. Small blind is Liam. I will say if Liam and 𝗏𝗏𝗃 are in different spots, I would imagine that Pierre would find jam. Instead, he finds limp here.
Limp, and it goes complete and check from Liam and James respectively. Off to a flop. Does flop bottom set with the 4s, does Pierre. Unfortunately, nobody else has anything. James with the backdoor straight draw. Liam does have the backdoor nut flush draw as well.
Also has backdoor Broadway too, but I do think this is going to go bet, fold at a large frequency. Be interesting to see what Liam decides to do. Did disguise the strength of his hand by over-flatting too. There's a case to be made that he's done that, as he does find fold, and James is going to fold here. Just trying to keep the pot a bit smaller for against a player that could cripple him / put him out the tournament here, with Pierre being chip leader.
Yeah.
Still
does have position on him though, so there's one positive for Liam.
Still think that if you're the biggest stack, that you probably want to be leveraging that and be opening a little bit more. But does look like the limp's going to get through. Also, it's great to limp when you know you're going to flop bottom set, right?
Always nice. Flopping a set, don't know what that feels like. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 now with 6s and 10 bigs under the gun.
It's amazing how quick this final table decided to get going. It was a very slow, they were at 9-handed for a long while. In the blink of 20 minutes, we're now down to 5, and 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃's probably going to find jam here. And it looks like he has raised and leave some chips behind with the one big blind. Very standard now, very common practice.
Yeah, well, he does have James and... Oh, just James got short now. The other... Oh, we did just lose Allen.
Yes, correct. Pierre finding fold. Liam on the button here. Oh,
here we go, James with 9s.
Here we are. James Hopkins is going to go and put 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃's at risk.
And Huss folding one of the 6s.
𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 is going to need help.
Just the one out.
I hope he doesn't show it, because that's going to be painful for Van.
He has shown it. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 still with one big blind behind. Not much he can do. He has to put it in.
I think Van is also probably highlighted the fact that he wasn't exactly all in, but not much that he can do here. It's going to be one out, or some spades, or some diamonds.
Both flush draws are live.
No flush draws live here. The turn is the king, so we're going to have to see one out only. It is not. Instead, it is a 9, and that will seal a virtual double up and an elimination for James Hopkins. James now is going to get 90% of his chips, I think. paid. I think he had just over 500, and Van had 400 here, so about 90%, just under. So yeah, virtually a double and an elimination.
Probably is a full double by the time you add in the blinds and ante as well.
Correct. Big spot there for James Hopkins, and I think we're about to lose Van in 5th place, and just like that, in a blink of an eye, in 20 minutes, we've gone from, I think, 8-handed to 4?
Yeah, 7 to 4.
7 to 4. Yep. So, yeah, very quick turnaround.
See the payouts there on screen now. Everyone's locked up $14,000, $6,000 pay jump now.
Yep.
Now we're starting to get a little bit serious.
Definitely getting towards that serious. Looks like we're going to have a dealer change as well. It might be Pedro jumping in by the looks of it from the background. Don't know if it was. We'll wait and see who is our new dealer. It is Pedro.
It is, it is.
Man of the people is Pedro. One of the premium dealers here at APT. Good to see him getting some final table action as well.
𝗦𝗱𝗊𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 suited under the gun, 4-handed. We will start to see ranges opening up now, being short-handed at this final table.
Correct, and with James being the one that did provide the knockout and then the double. James now has closed that gap towards Liam and Huss. He's still going to be our shortest stack here, but very important to note that with him chipping up, we don't have that major short stack now.
Yeah.
So RCM is actually going to be more of a factor. Yes, there'll be less on James, but Liam and Hussner, they can't really get it out of line against Pierre because A, they can bust him, but B, losing a sizable pot will put them into last place where...
Well, if James doubles up here off Pierre, he will be chip leader.
Yes, it is all fairly close now as we do see the Queen 7 deuce board, 2 spades, 1 club, no one containing a spade.
James does flop bottom pair, however, he was still in front with ace high, now turns 2 pair.
Pierre now picking up a gut shot here as well. Not Pierre, sorry. Huss picking up a gut shot here at the small blind. Do believe it went open and flat.
In the Facebook chat, Kleber saying best dealer ever, Pedro.
Look, I would definitely agree. Pedro is one of my favourites to have dealing towards me. Great pitch, very fast at what he does. Understands the action a lot.
Very professional.
He is indeed. He's actually starting to learn a bit of poker too on the side. He was starting to play. We were actually talking about that over dinner. I think the first night APT this series.
Okay.
Yeah, we ended up at the same restaurant down the road, trying to quickly order some food. Actually, for the grind. Would have been the grind final table because he was dealing that final table that I was on, and we were both on the same break. But, yeah.
There's a 9 of clubs on the river here, and it looks like there's a bet from James with a 2 pair, and he's going to take it down as Huss will fold the king high.
Looking at the fact that the other players have stood up here, it looks like we are moving to a break here. We are down to 4. There is a break in the Goliath. I would imagine it's going to be 15 minutes, and we will be back shortly to take you towards a champion here in the Goliath, the 2.5K here at APT.